Terry, corporate tax.
Yes, Alan, that's something I've thought a lot about. There's a lot of talk these days of companies avoiding tax, which is actually incorrect. What they're doing is minimising tax. They're not doing anything illegal, they're just exploiting the law and the spirit of the law, really. It's very common, some 2,400 companies don't pay tax in Australia, major companies, including companies like Apple or News Corp or BHP. And this is costing the country potentially billions and billions of dollars in income that they could spend on hospitals and schools and children and all that sort of stuff. So I have a plan to get around this, and that plan is very simple, and that is to not tax on profit, but to tax on turnover. Straight turnover, a percentage of turnover is what they pay in tax. The tax would be a small percentage. It could be as low as 2%, which is not much. But that would provide more income for the government than the current practice of taxing on profits at 35%, which nobody pays anyway. So that's my suggestion, is we tax on turnover. They can't get out of it. They can't go to tax havens. They can't use transfer pricing to avoid it. They would have to pay that tax, and it would be cheap to gather the tax. We would not need the same sort of bureaucracy as we've got now at the ATO. It would be very simple to administer and highly profitable.
Just explain to people about transfer pricing, Terry.
Transfer pricing is where a company operating in Australia will incur a charge from their head office, if you like, for such things as use of the trade name or buying goods. In Apple's case, it could buy its phones from Ireland, Apple in Ireland, who put a markup on those phones. And by the time Apple sell them here and run their stores and things, there's no profit to pay tax on. So it's a form of exaggerated accounting. Accounting can in fact make a profit whatever you want or a loss whatever you want. It's a purely subjective. Profit is purely subjective, whereas turnover is not subjective. It's completely objective. So that's the story on corporate tax anyway.